In today's time, when if you break something, you simply replace it, Assemble with Care is a thought provoking journey of meeting people, fixing the objects that are valuable to them, and ultimately restoring relationships. You play as Maria, a globe-trotting restorer of antiques. She travels from one town to the next, restoring items. She can restore and fix everything from old electronics to music boxes to cameras and watches. Maria arrives in the sun-kissed town of Bellariva for a food festival. On arrival, Maria decides to distribute flyers of her business to earn some money to spend at the food festival. She gets a few interested clients and begins repairing their old or broken items, and slowly discovers how these broken items represent the fractured relationships of the people of Bellariva. While Maria does restore items for the other townsfolk, we aren't shown these sections, and the game focuses on two specific relationships. The first relationship you're introduced to is between a troubled young girl named Izzy and her father. The second one is between two sisters, Carmen and Helena. Each of these four characters brings you different items to restore, repair, or assemble, and each object holds a story that's deeply personal to them. It is through the restoration process that you find out the reasons for why these relationships are broken, and by restoring the items, you restore the relationships between these characters and help them gain closure. As you experience the different story threads unraveling between the characters, Maria also realizes her own broken relationships and the need to fix them. The game plays like an interactive novel with 12 chapters and an epilogue. At the beginning of each chapter, you're introduced to a character and the object that they'd like fixed. The restoring, repairing, or assembling of each item is where the gameplay takes place. Fixing each item plays like a short puzzle. You take it apart, find the broken pieces, and repair or replace them. You spend time examining the items, taking them apart piece by piece to find out what's wrong with them, and then finding the right parts to replace the faulty or damaged ones. The gameplay makes it feel like you could actually be in Bellariva, sitting with a screwdriver and tinkering around with a camera or a music box. It is effective for this story and fulfills its purpose of being an engaging and interactive experience. Honestly, if I hadn't seen a trailer of this game, I wouldn't have played it. I was drawn to the act of taking apart items and putting them back together. I only wish there were more items to restore as part of some side activity. Whether it's the art, the music, the sound design, or the voice acting, all the elements of the game's presentation come together to give you the feeling of being a restorer in Bellariva. The graphics are limited to the items you restore. Each item is wonderfully detailed in its curves and crannies, nooks and knobs, make and shine, including the broken pieces and their flaws, which makes it easy to identify and fix them. The audio is outstanding, which is why the game recommends headphones. The soft music, the ambient sounds of the town, the narration and voice acting are all integral parts of this storytelling process and experience. There were no bugs or glitches or any performance issues during my playthrough. This is a game that can be played in short sessions, or you can play it like how I did, in one sitting with a cup of warm coffee and the drizzling rain in the background. For a game that lasts only about 90 minutes, Assemble with Care lingers in your mind for so much longer. It makes you think about the things and the relationships that you hold close to your heart. It's a game that's been developed with love and a must play if you have an Apple Arcade subscription. These are some of the other games made by developer Noodle Cake for Apple Arcade. Leave a comment if you'd like me to review any of them. If you enjoyed this review and would like to see more, do consider subscribing to the channel and checking out the other videos in this series. Is Apple Arcade worth it? I've uploaded my complete playthrough of this game. I highly recommend you check it out if you don't have access to the game. Finally, I'd like to leave you all with a little gameplay footage from the second chapter of this game. Spoilers ahead. But if you're on the fence about playing it, this should convince you.
It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking peacefully in the hot morning sun. In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time. As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. So far, everything here seemed perfect. I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around in her backpack until she hauled out a battered red cassette deck.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore. I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you try? Why did you do that? How did you do that? I didn't see.
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will always love you, even though we both know that we must say goodnight. Good night, my darling.
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing? They're very good.
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence a cassette tape would never be enough to fill. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo. I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered. A part I wouldn't be able to fix.
Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.